Well, looks, yeah, here we go. All right, audio's working now. Thank you so much for your patience here. And I tell you, this storm kind of snuck up on me here. I was working on another project and I wasn't calculating in my head how fast this thing was moving. I mean, this thing is moving 50 miles per hour. And what struck my attention was I was looking in the chat discussion here with the National Weather Service, and this storm has varying sizes of hail reported. Everything from in Granbury, there was one report of tennis ball sized hail. Now, that was kind of an isolated report, but we're getting in Godly. I'm seeing a report of quarter-sized hail. Now that's bumped up to golf ball-sized hail. So this storm, it doesn't really look that impressive when you first look at it on radar, but it has that history of producing that large hail. So we're getting these varying reports of hail in northern Johnson County right now. This will be, I mean, in the time it took me to kind of put the stream together, I mean, this thing was all the way from north of Glen Rose all the way to now north of Cleburne. I mean, this thing is moving very, very quickly to the northeast. And when you take a look at this, again, look how fast this thing is moving. So the good news is if you are getting large hail in that area, or it's heading your way there in Burleson, I'm a little concerned that it's heading towards the radar location, so let's all knock on wood and keep our fingers crossed that nothing will happen there. It does appear to be weakening, though. If we take a look at the let's take a look at the radar here that shows us that something's going on with my eyebrow here, and it's really distracting me. But if we take a look at the radar model that shows us our hail sizes, it's getting smaller. So the storm does appear to be weakening as the sun goes down and it loses daytime heating, but it seems it's just hanging on to that updraft. So as it continues to race through Johnson County, large hail will be possible, but the good news is that it is moving very quickly, so it shouldn't be right on top of you for very long. So this is going to continue to move very quickly on to the northeast, again, moving towards the Burleson area. Let's get zoomed in here a little bit. So moving towards Joshua, then towards Burleson, then that will be moving towards southeastern Tarrant County. So those areas will need to watch that storm there as well, and eventually, you know, the Mansfield and Arlington areas there. So this storm, it's quite impressive. It's not very big. It really doesn't look that impressive, at least for the most part. But then when you actually read the reports that are coming out, I mean, they're surprising for this little storm that obviously could, as it continues to race to the northeast. I'm sure the next radar update's probably going to have this thing between Joshua and Burleson. So it's just moving very, very fast. And I knew this probably wouldn't be a very long stream. And man, I can't even see the chat here. Chat's been having some issues. So we'll, hopefully I can get that work in here. Maybe. And I don't even know if I'm going to really have time to, there's the warning for Tarrant County. I don't know if I'm going to really even have time to do all the housekeeping stuff that we usually do, but I will say that the YouTube stream is the best place to watch. So if you're watching this on Facebook, head over to the YouTube channel. Great place there. But this is the storm that we're tracking, and it has this history of large hail. It's going to be a hit and run. It's going to arrive in your area. By the time you're getting hail, it's going to move pretty quickly out of there. And the hail core is not very large. So you have this small hail core in this fast-moving storm. I mean, it's there and it's gone. Now, the thing is, it's going to arrive very quickly, so it may catch you a little bit off guard. But pretty soon after you see it, it's out of there. So now the radar... is that updating? Let's see, it's 10:03 now. That's a 9:58 scan, so I feel like we're a little behind here. Let me just try, oh, it's not what I want to do. Okay, so apparently we're timely here, but just as quickly as this thing is moving, okay, and now we're hearing that a spotter in Godly reporting tennis ball-sized hail out of this storm. Here we go. So it's just moving into Joshua now, and I am astounded at the reports, the hail reports we're getting out of this storm, because it just really does not look like that impressive on radar, but that's why ground truth is so important with these storms. Of course, yesterday we had rumors going around of wall clouds and rotating wall clouds in Cedar Hill and then Midlothian, all these different areas. When you actually listen to the spotters in the area that were actually watching that storm, they said, yeah, no, there was no rotation at all. So, I mean, you know, it's one of those things where you can only see so much on radar, and you can only understand so much from the public. You really need those trained eyes helping you understand what's going on. We have a report of quarter-sized hail in Joshua. So it seems like the strongest hail core is what just went through Godley there. That will continue on towards the Chisholm Trail Parkway here. And then moving into Joshua, we're getting reports of quarter-sized hail. So let's go back to, we've got that fresh sweep here. Maybe we can get an updated look at this hail core here. We'll watch this, and this will update, and you'll see this gray area move towards Joshua, move out of Godley here. So yeah, so and that's the report that came in, the golf ball sized hail. One report of tennis ball sized hail in Godley a few moments ago. So that is one of the storms that we're looking at. We are looking at a tornado watch that's in effect not really only in Hill County in our area. So that goes, I think that's been extended actually until midnight. So that storm, this storm is not really part of that necessarily. It was in that area. Now it's more of a hail threat, but that tornado threat does continue for Hill County and points west and south. So I will be monitoring that, but this storm is clearly a hail producer. There's been some weird things going on with velocity on this storm. Not really sure what that is. I'm going to have to kind of look into that in a few moments. But as we're watching this storm, I don't think there's really much velocity-wise going on. Now, at some point, this storm will probably collapse. When it does, that's when the winds will kick up. There will be a quick rush of hail out the bottom of it, and then it will quickly, winds will quickly pop up out of that storm as well. This is going to continue on to the northeast. Again, 50 miles per hour. That is moving very, very quickly. And I'm watching for a new radar scan here, and I'm way too impatient for weather radar, because you get a new scan every 3 to 5 minutes here. It looks like we're almost leaning more on the 5-minute mark here for those new scans. But you know, I want to see where this thing is. The hail core has probably already passed through Joshua at this point as quickly as this thing is pushing. And again, that will be moving towards the Burleson area. So that's going to be the largest population center. We could see some hail in Lillian as well, but that will be moving towards Rendon and Mansfield there in far southeastern Tarrant County. So that will be moving up to Tarrant County. That will be moving towards I-35 West right now. And I will say, if you're getting hail, you're going to probably be inclined to take shelter under a bridge in your vehicle. That is absolutely not the thing you want to do. You want to make sure that you are staying out from under those overpasses, because you want to make sure that emergency response can flow freely. So do not get under an overpass. If you have to take shelter, pull over. And okay, I'm hearing that the sirens in Burleson, those outdoor warning sirens, again, they are outdoor sirens, not meant to be heard inside, but those outdoor warning sirens in Burleson have been activated for those large hail sizes. So that way, if there are individuals who are outdoors, that they can be aware of this. So that's what we're watching here. If we get a broader look, the only other storm is on the other side of Gatesville and Hamilton here. So not really looking at, let me just make sure that somebody's watching here. Okay, and that's our fresh look there. So we'll get zoomed back in on this storm. So yeah, so move through Joshua right now. The heaviest probably in Joshua or just northeast of there. Again, bearing right towards Burleson right now. And that's why those outdoor warning sirens have been have been activated. There's no tornadoes in this storm, okay? There's not a tornado threat with this. We are talking about a hail threat. This storm has a history of varying hail size reports, everything from quarter size up to tennis ball size, everything in between. Tennis, ping pong ball, golf ball, all that stuff. So these storms, they mean business. This particular storm with these cores, and like I said, it is moving very, very fast. It will be moving to the northeast at about 50 miles per hour. Now, next door in Ellis County, far western Ellis County, might be seeing the lightning from this. Does not look like Ellis County will be impacted from this. I would say, if anything, from about Venus to Midlothian, you may see, you may end up seeing a kind of a, for one, the anvil from this storm, but you may see some light rain from that. But I would say from Venus on to Alvarado is getting some rain out of this. Venus may get some rain out of the edge of this. Mansfield and later Arlington will be the largest towns in the path of this storm. So large hail is your primary concern with this storm. And Saddle Tramp, you're talking about the tornado watch still until 10 p.m. Let me go back up into the conversation here. I'm convinced that extends tornado watch till 12 a.m. and that does include Hill County. So that's coming straight from the National Weather Service. So anything that's saying that the tornado watch is until 10 p.m. is out of date. It is 12 a.m. per the National Weather Service. And that is only Hill County. Here, there's no watches in effect, but we do have that severe thunderstorm warning that goes, I believe, until it was for another hour at one point. So, okay, about 35 minutes. Let's see. Yeah, so till 10:45. This warning. So it will probably not be necessary that long. As quickly as this storm is moving, it will be moving into Burleson either in a very short time or probably now, I would say. It will be moving into the Burleson area. We'll zoom in a little bit more here. So your hail threat is kind of right on the leading edge here of this storm. You'll get a few, some gusty winds on the leading edge of this. You'll get the very large hail that this storm could be producing right now, and then it will kind of weaken a little bit after that, and you'll just have a little bit of a rain event. Now, I will say the hail core, the strongest hail core, is to the northeast of Joshua right now. Now, again, that's going to be moving towards Burleson. That's why those outdoor warning sirens have been activated. I won't be surprised if those sirens are sounding in Arlington in a short time. That is, if that hail core is still intact, because it does look like it is slowly but surely weakening as it quickly moves to the northeast. So it's kind of a race to see, does it arrive in your area first or does it continue to weaken? So as you watch it, you can see that hail core shrinking. So that is good news generally, but again, as quickly as it's moving, the rate it's weakening, I'm still thinking that large hail is possible in the Burleson area as it continues to move northeastward. Now, you're going to be hearing thunder a ways away from this storm probably. If you're not in Johnson County, I really don't think Ellis County gets much of anything at all from this. If Arlington gets anything, if Midlothian gets anything at all, it might be some of the a little bit of light rain from this, maybe from the anvil itself. I don't expect to see much. This is pretty much an exclusively Johnson County storm. Up here in Britain, right on the edge of Ellis and Tarrant and Johnson counties there, kind of right where the four counties come together, there could be some rain from this, but really that's probably going to be it. Rain, you'll get some lightning and thunder out of this too. You're going to see it, you're going to hear it, but that should be about it. So now we're getting closer to the radar location, so it's going to be harder to see this. Right there in Burleson, that's where the radar is located, and so that hail core does look pretty impressive as it's moving in, and Johnson County near Cross Timber is reporting baseball-sized hail right now. So this storm is, here's a report from Emergency Management of golf ball size in Burleson. So again, very much varying reports, and sometimes these storms, you're going to get one or two hail sizes that it's like, well, that's a big one that came out of nowhere. It doesn't mean that all the hail is baseball sized. I mean, you've got a few baseball sized hail pieces of hail that have fallen out of this, hailstones, so to speak. So, yeah, and hearing there's a lot of thunder going on, and the Rangers. Okay, so I was wondering if the Ranger game was in Arlington, and I believe that is covered by a roof, is it not? With that new ballpark, I haven't been to that new stadium or that new ballpark yet. I missed the old one, but I think the new one has a roof, so presumably this shouldn't be too big a concern at that game, but I'm sure they are watching very closely here. This storm may be cycling, and we could be looking at this storm starting to strengthen a little bit. And really, again, the I'm just not seeing that hail core looking very impressive. Of course, we are looking directly into the precipitation here at this point. The other thing that we can do, and I'm curious, as close as we are, look at the correlation coefficient here, and that's, yeah, we're too close to the radar at this point. That's not really giving me too much. So as it gets closer to the radar, it's going to be harder to see, but take my word for it, we have been getting multiple reports of very large hail, and now I'm hearing that there is some hail falling in the Alvarado area right now. Most of the hail is going to be to the northeast of there. That's what we're looking at. Could be some hail moving towards the Lillian area, probably smaller hail. I don't think you're going to get the brunt of this. That will be reserved for Burleson, Rendon, Mansfield, and that's going to continue to move northeastward towards the Arlington area, towards Grand Prairie, eventually maybe towards Joe Pool Lake there, and probably moving mostly to the east of Cedar Hill. But I would say if you're in far western Dallas County, you want to be paying attention to this too, depending on how long this storm can maintain its strength. So here's the severe thunderstorm warning for Johnson County. This will be moving into southeastern Tarrant County, Mansfield, Arlington. These are areas that I know very well. I lived in Arlington for a year. I've spent a lot of time up there. So if you're in Mansfield and Arlington, and I know there are some folks who are supporting as well, but who are watching in those areas, you want to be getting away from windows at this point. Windows are really the biggest threat you have here. And if you get hail damage and need an inspection, need somebody to climb up there, Synergy Roofing has you there, but that's after the fact. Very large hail going through here, and as that continues to move on into Tarrant County here very soon, we are getting more reports of baseball-sized hail out of this storm in Johnson County. So again, get away from windows if you're in a vehicle. If you're able to get into shelter somewhere, that is great. If you're able to go to, I don't know, I would say, if there's a cover you can get into, a parking garage or something, go for it. Do not get under a bridge, because if you get under a bridge and there is an emergency response that is needed, you could be getting you could be creating a problem, is what I'm trying to say. You could be impeding emergency response there. Johnson County, north of Joshua, reporting baseball-sized hail. So major hail continues here, and it's sounding like the hail is not going to be the base. That baseballs won't be the only things flying around in Arlington. That unfortunately, where that game is going on, this could be moving that way. And yeah, Saddle Tramp, I know there's the airport radars, but those are very limited in what they can do. So we'll take a look at it, but I'm not sure that's really going to help us all that much. Not really. I'd almost just stick with what we've got. But again, you're seeing this moving into Burleson, and you're seeing it kind of modulated there. This does not mean that suddenly all the red is gone. You're looking at the radar location, and the radar can't look straight up. It looks out, okay? So it's going to send those beams out, and it goes at a pretty high height. In fact, if we move the radar up a little bit, let's take a look and see what we're looking at the upper levels. Yeah, so, and you lose kind of some of the, it's not as pretty up there, but as we are looking higher and higher up, let me see if I can get that up to tilt 4 here. As you're looking higher and higher up, in fact, if we get to tilts 2 and 3, you can still see some of that pink. So that's going to be some of that hail that you're looking at. And we'll get this back to the tilt 1 that you're used to. But this is looking very low, so it can be tough to kind of see that. But the storm still probably moving around 50 miles per hour now. And it is in Burleson right now, so I should be getting some updates in the chat here with the reports out of Burleson. We should see new information coming out very soon for that. And again, this is moving to the northeast. It is moving towards Mansfield, towards Rendon, towards Arlington right now. So those will be the next areas to be concerned about. And I understand that the outdoor warning sirens in Burleson are sounding at this time to warn about that hail threat that I'm sure is there now. At this point, we're probably looking at the hail that is falling in that particular area. And this will not affect, at least not in a major way, any other counties in our area. Ellis, Johnson, Navarro, or Ellis Hill and Navarro, rather, not really much going on there. Okay, another report of tennis ball sized hail out of this storm in northern Johnson County. So what a monster of a storm this thing is. And like I said, I'm calling it the little storm that obviously could, because this storm is just really bearing down on far northern Johnson County here, northeastern Johnson County here. So between Alvarado and Lillian there, I'm sure we're getting some smaller hail there. I don't think we're going to be seeing the large hail sizes quite in that area. Now Lillian, I will say, it does appear to have shifted east some, so Lillian could get larger hail here. Not expecting too much of that in Alvarado or Venus, but could be larger hail in the Lillian area, and then yes, moving right into Mansfield over the next several area. And I don't know, you're saying apps are saying it's coming to Waxahachie. Apps don't know what they're talking about. Listen to the human being who knows this stuff and is looking at it instead of, artificial intelligence trying to figure out what in the world these storms are doing. That stuff just does not work. And those apps, I don't know what's going on with that, but they don't work. Okay, they just don't work. You'll even hear some of the TV stations that have these apps will tell you that they do not work. It's usually there for ad space. So I know in Midlothian you're definitely probably concerned about this. I think the most that Midlothian's going to get from this, there could be some heavy rain. There could be some small hail that comes out of this. We're continuing to see this kind of shift a little bit eastward here. So as it gets closer to Midlothian, there could be some heavier rain there, could be some small hail, but I'm not expecting the massive hail that's going on in the Burleson area right now, possibly over towards Lillian, going to be moving towards the Mansfield area very soon. I'm not expecting quite that. So we'll keep watching this and keep monitoring this. And I need to just make sure that I thank people for the donations to the Cash App and the Venmo and all this kind of stuff that's going on there. So I'm getting a picture of hail in the Joshua area, and it's a hand that's holding it. The problem is hands are different sizes. Hands come in all different shapes and sizes, so it's hard for me to know based on this picture how large the hail is. I mean, it's not tiny, obviously, but hands come in all shapes and sizes, so it's really hard for me to know exactly how large or small the hail is that I'm getting the picture of. So really, it's going to be the best way to handle that is to put it either next to an object, not marbles. I don't want to hear marble-sized hail because there's different sized marbles too. Tennis balls, ping pong balls, golf balls, these things that are standard sizes across the board, across the spectrum. That's going to be your best thing. Really, honest to God, the best possible thing you could use, a ruler. Those are all the same. Follow a ruler, follow that measurement, you're good to go, and we can compare to other options, other items as well. Hearing a report of rain in Venus, not hearing hail there, and does look like the rain is expanding eastward, so that will be moving into the Midlothian area here. But again, the severe part of this storm is staying in far northern Johnson County, northeastern Johnson County, moving into Mansfield and Rendon right now. So the Mansfield area, you will be getting the strong part of this storm. You will be getting that hail core that's going to be moving through there. Again, a history of very impressive hail for what this storm is, and it's moving at around 50 miles per hour. In fact, let's check the warning over in Tarrant County to see how, yeah, so northeast at 50 miles per hour. So it's maintaining that speed, continuing to move off to the northeast at 50 miles per hour. It's really, really moving quickly. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of lightning and thunder that you're seeing from a great distance away. Does not mean it's moving your way. You could be seeing lightning and hearing thunder as far away as Ennis right now, but it does not mean it's moving towards Ennis. So just bear in mind, and I know that there's somebody that's talking about it's moving east, but this storm is not moving due east at this time. I mean, you can look at that, and there is some more eastward motion than northern motion. No, it's not moving due east right now. So you can argue that all you want to in the comments, but we're going to look at the information as it is. It's moving northeastward. It's moving towards Mansfield, towards Cedar Hill, towards Duncanville, towards Arlington. These are the areas you need to be watching. If it was moving due east, we'd be talking about Red Oak right now. It's just not happening as much as you may want it to be. No tornado or severe weather threat for Waxahachie at this time. Not moving towards Waxahachie. There may be lightning and thunder, maybe some light rain coming to Waxahachie now, but if we put this into motion and kind of widen this out, nothing really coming into Waxahachie. There's some green here. That's probably just looking at the anvil itself. And as this continues to move on to the northeast at about 50 miles per hour. So this will be moving really towards southwestern Dallas County. So those areas, like I mentioned, Cedar Hill, Duncanville, Lancaster here, DeSoto, those areas need to be paying attention. For sure, again, this kind of this best southwest area, so Grand Prairie, Cedar Hill, Duncanville, DeSoto, those areas need to be looking at this. This is new, and this is coming from I think this is the weirdest. So from David Reimer over at Texas Storm Chasers, yogurt cup size hail in Burleson. All right, that's the first time I've ever heard hail size compared to a yogurt cup. Again, there's different yogurt cups. That could be any size. You talking kids yogurt cups? You talking the Yoplait things? What are we talking about here? So that's got to be one of the weirdest things I've ever heard in my life. Okay, that's interesting. But any yogurt cup is large enough. It's hail you don't want. It's hail that we can consider fairly dangerous. So what is with weather social media this week? This is just getting odd. This is just getting crazy. So from Rendon to Mansfield, that's going to be the main target area right now. South Arlington next, possibly Cedar Hill and Duncanville as well. So again, we're watching this continuing to move on to the northeast. I would say a severe thunderstorm warning is probably going to be coming out for southwestern Dallas County very soon. And the good news is this will be moving out of our area very quickly, 50 miles per hour. It's moving, okay, here we go. So here's that latest update, moving right across 287 right now. Let me remind you, let me say this again. If you are on the highway and getting this storm bearing down on you, you absolutely do not want to get under an overpass, because as tempting as that could be, I won't read that, but as tempting as it may be, you would definitely have to look at the fact that you're impeding traffic behind you. And I know there's a lot of Texans who could not give the smallest crap who they're blocking behind them in traffic. We see it every day, but you could be blocking emergency response. So I don't care about your neighbors. Those kind of things. I know you don't care about who you're blocking behind you, the Joe Schmoes and the average people that you're blocking. We see it all the time. You couldn't care less. We're talking about ambulances. We're talking about fire trucks. We're talking about police. We're talking about these folks who need to get through to actually help people. So do not block those overpasses if you can absolutely help it. That's just not what you want to do. So let me go back in the comments here a little bit. If it's Gogurt, it's practically a missile. That's absolutely true. I mean, you're talking that's flying icicles at that point. That'd be an absolute mess. Um, he also calls tornadoes spinny, spinny doom dooms. Okay, we're just gonna I'm gonna act like that's not a thing I know now. Um, were they eating a yogurt cup and went outside? I have no idea where this yogurt stuff came from. No idea at all. I want to update you on this warning. Now, we've just had an update, and we've been talking about the easterly push of this storm. It's still moving northeastward, but we are now, okay, so the National Weather Service has broadened this warning, and we're going to take a look at the hail core here, because if Ellis County is included in this here, uh, it looks like it's mostly the hail that's a concern. So they may be talking about um, the fact that we're looking at some of this hail possibly impacting northern Ellis County. And so I'm going to check into this a little bit. And so as we look at the again, this vertically integrated liquid, we're not really seeing anything there, but southern Dallas County and northern Ellis County now included in this this warning. And so Ellis County was included in this. The word from the National Weather Service is that this will move across Mansfield and far southwestern Dallas County soon. I'm thinking they've added parts of Ellis County kind of just as a precaution here. So Midlothian, Red Oak, Oakleaf, Ovilla, Pecan Hill, and Ferris all included in this severe thunderstorm warning here. And that warning goes until 11:30 here. So that's what we're looking at now. It is still moving to the northeast, so southwestern Dallas County is the primary target here. They have kind of shifted the track a little bit eastward, but you see how far north it goes. So they're giving this storm a very wide berth, and so as it's moving off to the northeast, they will be pretty much, this goes almost to downtown Dallas. So I know there's been arguments in the comments about what direction it's going. It's still moving northeast, but I think they're trying to give it a wide berth in case some of that larger hail does manage to fall in parts of Midlothian, Red Oak, and Ferris. And if you're in Midlothian, I would really value your reports here, especially northern parts of Midlothian, if you're getting any of this hail. But I just, yeah, I'm not... yeah, so you're getting this amber-like alert for the hail. That's the EAS. That's the emergency alert system. That is your phone where it sounds, it buzzes, and that will actually give you the report here to talk about what you're actually seeing. And what they do is on these storms, they will give you well, on the severe thunderstorm warning, they will put a tag that destruct is basically a destructive thunderstorm damage threat, and that will trigger that emergency alert system. Basically, it's hail large enough to make destruction and be destructive in this area. So that is going to trigger not only the EAS on your phones, that you'll hear it on the radio, you'll also probably hear outdoor warning sirens going on as well. So that's what we're watching. Heavy rain so far at 67 and 287 in Midlothian. Just started raining in Waxahachie. Waxahachie's just barely getting clipped here by this rain. So as we're watching this, let me continue to follow these comments here. A 4-inch hail report just came from Burleson. Wow. That's the larger reports you're getting. I really want pictures. I mean, it just, sometimes when you're getting these hail reports, it's just you gotta hope that this stuff's being verified. So yeah, so I'm seeing a lot of people are getting the alerts for this warning, and we will talk about the surrounding areas here very shortly. So we will make sure that everyone is covered here. Sirens going off at DBU. So Southern Dallas County is sounding those sirens right now. And here's the area that is included. Let me back this up just a little bit. Here's Ellis County. Here's the severe thunderstorm warning. And we've seen this storm. It's moving to the northeast, but now we're starting to see it kind of shift and kind of build to the southeast. So it's a little bit deceiving here. The storm is moving 50 miles per hour to the northeast very quickly, but it's also building southeastward. So it's hard to say it's displacing from this place to this place, but now it's kind of building to the southeast. So we could be seeing an increasing hail threat again in northern Ellis County, the way that it is kind of, again, building to the southeast. And I think that's what they're trying to follow here. Okay, so I'm continuing to get some reports here. I'm getting a picture of again, and it's a hand. I know this individual, so she's holding a piece of hail that probably looks like, I would say, tennis ball size hail, and that's going to be in Mansfield. So I would say tennis ball, about between golf ball to tennis ball sized hail in the Mansfield area that I am looking at right now. And this has definitely been an interesting storm that, again, luckily will be moving out of our South Metro coverage area right now. The strongest of this is in Mansfield right now. And so we've had these varying reports. Yes, Alex, it can do damage to windows, and there's talk of reports of broken windows. I haven't seen that personally. Broken car windows, that is. I haven't seen that personally yet. That's just hearsay. But okay, and let me just make sure you understand. There's somebody asking about a tornado warning. There are no tornado warnings in effect right now. There is a tornado watch, and there's sirens because there's large hail. Sirens do not exclusively mean tornadoes anymore. That is history. That's over now. These sirens, these outdoor warning sirens, are not for hail anymore, or not just for tornadoes anymore. It's just not the way it goes. They are now sounded for strong winds and hail that can do damage, can cause harm to an individual outdoors. Outdoor warning siren. That's why we call them that. I'm getting a lot of pictures here and getting a lot of reports, or I guess trying to get pictures. So this is from the Burleson area and seeing, okay, baseball and lemon-sized hail here. So that was in the Burleson area and far northwestern. Okay, and I'm seeing far northwestern Midlothian. Or northwest Midlothian, looks like pea-sized hail up in that area. So that's going to be very, very small. So if there is hail in Midlothian, the only thing I know about is some smaller hail. And you can see kind of this darker area. That's going to be moving northward right into Cedar Hill here. So in the Cedar Hill area, that's moving quickly to the northeast. So if you're in Cedar Hill, I haven't seen large hail out of this, haven't seen that report yet. And Matt, you can keep me updated if you're seeing anything. But moving towards Cedar Hill right now, we're probably looking at, I would say, pea to maybe dime-sized hail that I've seen, that I have verified myself. So that's just what I am actually witnessing with the evidence that's been sent in to me. So bear in mind that this has a history of producing large hail. Okay, very large hail is a concern with this. That's been in the history of this storm, but the indications visually that I'm having from radar is that the storm is generally kind of weakening. It's moving to the northeast into Dallas County. It is trying to stretch southeastward though. And I'm getting a lot of questions from the I-45 corridor in Ellis County. This is not moving towards Ennis, Palmer, Tellico, Bardwell, any of those areas. Okay, we're talking Midlothian, Red Oak, and that's it. Okay, I'm not even sure this is really going to affect Ferris very much. It kind of depends on how far eastward it builds, but it really is not looking like it's going to affect really anything south of Waxahachie and Ferris. Okay, If it's south or east of Waxahachie or Ferris, probably not going to affect those areas. So you should be done with that. Um, and I'm not sure towels are going to do a whole lot for your car with potentially baseball-sized hail. And a report from Lancaster Airport. You can see the giant antennas. Well, that's the antennas in Cedar Hill. Um, the lightning and yeah. So just a really long comment saying, hey, there's lightning in Cedar Hill. So that's not too surprising. Getting rain in Ovilla, just thunder in Red Oak. Could be some rain heading towards Red Oak pretty soon. It sounds like any hail in the Midlothian area is pretty limited. But I will say it looks like that hail core may be shifting eastward, moving towards Cedar Hill right now. That's going to be my bigger concern right now. And obviously, hail, good-sized hail just moved through Mansfield, and we're talking up towards South Arlington at this time. We'll kind of pay attention to that because I know, again, I've got viewers in the Arlington area here. So Arlington, Grand Prairie, that's going to be kind of the next area where the hail core that we've seen is moving. Yeah, so one report of grapefruit-sized hail in Burleson. That is a report that came in. That is a photograph that was sent in. So that's sometimes the best report we can go off of, right? Hopefully this is not somebody that's just pulled this off of social media somewhere and sent it in, but that is the report. Just one report of 4-inch hail, grapefruit-sized hail in Burleson. And over time, of course, we will get to disseminate these things and kind of dissect these things and get a better idea of exactly what we're looking at. But this is the storm that is producing that. Again, heading towards Cedar Hill, DeSoto, Duncanville, Joe Pool Lake here, out of Mansfield into southern Arlington. Okay, that's where this storm is going to be moving. The Glen Heights area, I'm not sure hail will be possible there. It could be small hail. I'm just seeing that the city of Dallas has activated sirens in the southwest and southeast zones. So in southern parts of Dallas, sirens are sounding for this storm. Again, that does not mean that there is a tornado. These are not tornado sirens. These are outdoor warning sirens. That means that large, damaging, potentially harmful hail is coming out of this storm, and that will be moving into the Dallas area. Okay, now we're hearing more 4-inch hail reports coming in from Mansfield just about 5 to 10 minutes ago. We're seeing more consistent reports of 4-inch hail here. Again, 4 inches, yes, that is grapefruit hail. So despite what we're seeing in terms of, despite what we're hearing from, or at least seeing from radar makes it look like this thing is kind of weakening a little bit, but the distance, how close it is to the radar, might be deceiving a little bit. Hail is created up in the cloud. So what I was looking at earlier, it looked like it was weakening. That might have been the radar playing tricks with us a little bit because it was not looking up in the storm where the hail is produced. So that could have been kind of a trick of the view there. A lot of questions coming in, so I'm going to do the best I can to question these, answer these. Yes, you want to get away from windows. Where these storms are coming through, get away from windows, absolutely. Let me see. People should write a piece of paper on the date. Yeah, they should. It's there's a number of different things we could do, but we don't always have time for that. You do need to stay away from windows. You're working from home. I would say take a break while this storm goes through. It's moving pretty quickly, so you're not going to have that much hail falling on you for a very, very long time. It is moving pretty fast. It's moving about 50 miles per hour. Hearing mostly rain in the Midlothian area, and I'm looking at a picture from the Alvarado area, and again, that's a hand, so it's hard for me to know exactly what we're looking at, but if I had to guess, we're probably looking in the ping pong ball range for the larger hailstone there from the Alvarado area. And this has a history of very large hail, very large hail. I mean, we've been talking about grapefruit-sized hail possibly out of this storm, and it's very persistent. I mean, this thing, we thought that was weakening, but like I said, I may have allowed the distance from the radar to kind of play with me here, because when you're looking lower and lower in the storm, sometimes you're not seeing things as quickly. The severe thunderstorm warning for Johnson County has expired, so this is no longer a Johnson County storm. This is far, far south eastern Tarrant County, southwestern Dallas County, for northern Ellis County at this time. Not getting any hail reports out of Red Oak right now, the Red Oak Ovilla area. So let me just look at this. Pretty good sized hail in reports in the Cedar Hill area there that I'm getting in the messages. And again, thank you so much for the donations through Venmo and Cash App and all those kind of things that are coming through. I appreciate that as well. Yeah, no hail in Midlothian, so yeah, varying hail sizes out of this storm. So the nice thing about the grapefruit size hail we're reporting, it's not going to, every hailstone is not going to be grapefruit sized. Okay, you're going to get varying sizes of hail. Most of it's going to be smaller, but again, you can get a grapefruit sized piece of hail that, if you're unlucky enough, can do some damage to whatever structure you're looking at. And trust me, if you need a roof guy, we got one. Somebody that will get up there and look for you instead of you having to climb up on a ladder and get up on your roof. They will take care of that for you. Okay, so let me get back through the comments here. I'm trying to just follow what's going on. Okay, just had golf ball size hail off of Highway 67 South Cedar Hill. Yeah, so larger hail moving through Cedar Hill right now. That's going to be that hail core in that area. So we're talking DeSoto, Lancaster, moving that direction, probably moving out of the Ovilla Oakleaf area right now. So this is pretty much going to exclusively be a South Dallas County issue at this time. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Dallas news stations are coming out of hibernation here and are jumping on TV. So, and Matt, I don't know if you want to check anybody and see. I'm sure Dan at Fox 4, I'm sure Pete Delkus is working right now, maybe. You never know. Okay, so there's the update on the radar there. Looks like Ferris could get some heavier rain from this, but I'm not expecting hail in the Ferris area. If you get hail in Ferris, probably going to be fairly small. But this is starting to approach I-20 in the Duncanville, Cedar Hill area. Let me just say here, let me just send off a message here. So moving into the Duncanville area right now, we have this hail core, very large hail here. We have reports of everything from ping pong size hail to golf ball size hail to baseball size hail to even grapefruit sized hail. I mean, we're talking up to 4 inches. That's the largest we've heard. And I mean, that's probably going to be the largest that we hear tonight, hopefully. Dallas TV aren't showing anything. So Channel 4 is showing the NBA championship, no weather. Okay, well, I guess when downtown Dallas is getting large hail, when they're getting large hail at the Fox 4 studios, they might be quite surprised. So DFW television stations are not covering this. So I guess I don't have anything else going on tonight. We can cover Dallas if we want to, and we can fill the gap there, right? I mean, that's kind of what we do anyway. We're used to it, right? These folks, normally they've got at least somebody on their side, but if they're not going to cover this, so Delkus is covering it now. Fox 4, I'm sure they don't want to turn away from the NBA championship, but I mean, we're talking catastrophic hail possibly here. We're talking, we're talking about 4-inch hail. Seriously. So yeah, Channel 8 is covering. So Pete's got the Dallas area. Hearing that there's people in Dallas that are watching me, I know there's going to be people in South Dallas that are watching, and that's a good thing. Looks like far southeastern Tarrant County released from the warning. this is basically, okay, so the championship is over. Sounds like Fox 4 was just kind of waiting for this to, kind of waiting for that to finish up before they jumped on. I'm sure Dan Henry is probably jumping on very quickly to speed talk through this. So Nuggets won. Okay, well, that doesn't excite me one bit. That means almost literally nothing to me. So yeah, well, I mean, yeah, south of I-20 sometimes is going to be very limited. But, go ahead and share this. We're talking South Metro. This is kind of South Metro. Officially, we don't cover Dallas, but let's just keep going. Let's just keep on making this happen. So let's continue to monitor this as this gets into southern Dallas County. You'll want to send this over to your Dallas friends here, so share this stream, whether it's the YouTube, really share the YouTube link because the YouTube quality is much better. So send this over to your Dallas County friends, the southern Dallas County friends, because there's very large hail moving into that area. The nice thing is that most of northern Ellis County right now, things have moved out of Midlothian. It will be calming down from there. In Oakleaf and Pecan Hill, those areas might be getting some heavier rain at this point, but the hail is probably north of there. I would say for most of Ellis County right now, I think the severe weather threat has probably ended. So as this continues to lift to the northeast, this will be moving into Duncanville, DeSoto, Lancaster. It's impacting DeSoto now, so Lancaster, as we get, let's go a little closer in to Dallas County here. So I-20 is right here. This is approaching the I-20 area. And let's see, the grapefruit-sized hail, that was over in Johnson County. That was in the Burleson area. So either Burleson or Mansfield, that area. So northern Johnson County was where the grapefruit report came from. I'm not seeing any hail reports from the National Weather Service in southern Dallas County. Seems like it's kind of stopped all of a sudden. Johnson County was doing a pretty good job, and then not seeing any kind of hail reports in Dallas County at this moment. Now, where I am, let me just get back to the messages here because I was getting some reports out of Dallas County. Here's an update. So again, Ferris, you're very on the edge here. And let me see here. Trying to follow some of the questions. Okay, 4-inch hail. This is a social media report that 4-inch hail was 4-inch hail reported at Joe Pool Lake. Now that's a social media report, so take that for what what it is. And I'm hearing the storm. I'm hearing the storm in the Mills Coryell area is weakening at this point. So I guess this may be the only storm that's really continuing to go. So yeah, mostly just rain in Ferris. So really northern Ellis County at this point, really not getting much. This is a southern Dallas County issue at this point. As it continues to move northeast, it may be slowing down a little bit actually as we look at this. Well, maybe not. It doesn't seem to be displacing as quickly. So alarms sounding in southern Dallas County right now. That is believable. The heaviest of this is going to be from Duncanville on down to Lancaster. This is going to be moving towards the Oak Cliff area here in southern Dallas. That's really going to be the next kind of target area. You have Oak Cliff, Cockrell Hill, Ledbetter Hills here. That's going to be where this storm is moving here. We move over to the east a little bit where we've got Hutchins, going to be moving towards Balch Springs over the next several minutes. So these are the areas that do need to be paying attention to this. And you have your bullseye here, downtown Dallas. This will be moving that direction. And so if you're in Dallas at this time, you absolutely have to be paying attention to this. You do want to get away from windows, and this is going to be moving towards a lot of roadways. This is going to be catching a lot of people on the roads by surprise, causing a lot of problems. That said, please, for the love of all that is holy, do not stop under an overpass. You can find somewhere else to pull off and get safe, but do not pull in under an overpass during this time because you're only impeding emergency response. This is life-threatening hail moving into Dallas right now, so you absolutely want to be paying attention to the fact that you're in a vehicle, and that vehicle under an overpass can block someone that is can block the emergency response. Now, the tornado watch has been canceled. The tornado watch that includes Hill County has been canceled at this time. So it looks like this may be it for tonight, and I'm okay with that. We're not going to get the kind of widespread stuff that we have gotten over the past few nights. But I also would not be too surprised to see this one storm just cause a whole lot of racket. It already has. Yeah, just a little bit of rain in the north side of Waxahachie. So that's pretty much what we were expecting. And thanks again to, looks like we might have some more Venmo stuff coming in, or Cash App, I think I saw that come across just out of the corner of my eye. Thank you so much for that coming in. That is definitely appreciated. Continue to share this with your friends in Dallas. We'll keep rolling here. It sounds like the Dallas media stations are kind of limited in their coverage right now. So if you don't feel like watching Pete Delkus on Channel 8, we'll continue our coverage here of this storm moving northeast at 50 miles per hour, moving very quickly. The next update we're going to see here will be moving this continuing towards downtown Dallas. We will see this moving again into Cockrell Hill and Oak Cliff and towards Balch Springs here after several minutes, Hutchins. So southern, southwestern, southeastern Dallas right now. Really anywhere south of I-20, really anywhere south of I-30 at this point should be paying attention to this. And this is going to continue to move very quickly. That has 1050 there. I have 1055, so we should be getting an update very, very soon. Should be getting a update on the radar very soon, so we'll be watching that very closely. And it looks like we're intensifying this here. Looks like Dan Henry just went on the air at Channel 4. So from Wilmer on up towards I-20 here, towards Hutchins, that looks to be the heaviest precipitation at this time. And chat just got spammed with some reports there. So let's take a look at the vertically. Okay, so the farther this is getting away from the radar here, we're starting to get a better picture of where this hail core is. So looks like north of Lancaster, west of Hutchins is where the largest hail is going to be, really anywhere in the red. And I'm hearing a report that there appears to be some hail in the Wilmer area too. Okay, so Pete has gone off the air. They don't seem very concerned. Okay. I mean, I guarantee you if grapefruit-sized hail was hitting Pete's house, he'd be raising all hell about it. But he's, again, these guys, a lot of their bosses, North Dallas, right? So, I mean, that's the population center. That's going to be their focus area. But there's plenty of folks in this area, too, that need to be warned. So if they won't do it, we will. But we'll continue this. We'll continue to monitor this. Northeast at 50 miles per hour. Very, very fast movement. This thing can come up on you very fast without a whole lot of warning. I mean, you hear it coming, but again, 50 miles per hour, that's booking it. That's moving very, very fast. So if you're in southern Dallas County, especially southeast Dallas at this point, again, we're talking Hutchins, Balch Springs, up to Mesquite over the next several minutes. That's going to be moving. We follow this track up even towards Rockwall eventually. So I would say from Balch Springs here, Hutchins, Balch Springs, Mesquite, Rockwall. That's kind of your track here as this moves through the Dallas area. So that's what we're going to be watching here as this continues to lift northward. And I mean, we're talking, again, grapefruit-sized hail. I wish I had a grapefruit with me. I could show you. Basically, almost the size of my, well, my massive head is bigger, but I'll just say this, that it's very large hail. Okay, hearing a report of 1-inch hail in DeSoto. So, sounds like the DeSoto area may be a little bit, I would say smaller in that area, maybe. Let me make sure the mic is working here. Watching from Nebraska. Hey from Texas. I'm glad that I guess you're watching from afar. You don't have no skin in the game, so you can just actually sit down. If you're watching this for entertainment, I apologize. I'm kind of dry. So we'll continue to keep this going, but again, if you're watching this for entertainment, it's not doing much. So Waxahachie, yeah. So the warning, there are no warnings in the South Metro area, the specific South Metro area right now. The only warning associated with this, for one, the tornado watch that included Hill County has been canceled. And then we have this severe thunderstorm warning in southern Dallas at this point, basically the southern half of Dallas County just about. And that does continue until, let's see, that's until 11:30. Okay, so sometimes it's hard to find that. So until 11:30 here in this area, that's going to be another half hour, but this will be moving much closer to, it's in the Hutchins area now. That will be moving towards Bald Springs and Riley very quickly. So this is probably going to stay mostly east of Seagoville here, west rather. So west through Seagoville at this point. And from Tornado Alley all of your 72 years. Well, gentlemen, you understand absolutely what we're looking at here. So we will be watching this hail core, and I think this is kind of where most of that large hail, that really large hail, is going to be focused. So that's moving through Hutchins now. Here is I-20 here, and this is going to be getting towards 635 here. So just bear in mind, moving towards Bald Springs, that's kind of going to be the next target here. So as this moves up into Bald Springs, and yes, I know this is outside of our usual coverage area. If it's not affecting you, feel free to tune this out. But we're going to continue to watch this, and in fact, let me make an adjustment to the other stream here. We have a radar-only stream that is also on YouTube, and I've just adjusted that to cover Dallas County, so you can actually see that live. So if you want to just see the storm, you can go to that radar-only stream, and that's exclusively on YouTube. We are on Facebook as well. The YouTube channel is much better. Facebook, you get the periodic updates, and then the YouTube channel is better for the video stuff. So, yeah, nothing happening in Ennis. Really, Ellis County is done for the night. If we zoom this out, there's nothing. There is nothing really anywhere else. So the other storm we had looks like that has quickly weakened and gone away. At least it's not in the range of the radar. And we are still watching this one lone storm, but man, this thing is holding its own. It's the little storm, like I've been saying, that obviously could, and quite the hail core with that. Now, I'm not getting any kind of reports. All the reports of hail I'm getting are from Johnson County, just all these delayed reports there. Yeah, lots of delayed reports back in Johnson County. I'm just not getting a lot of reports of the hail sizes in Dallas County. So if you're in Dallas County and you're watching this, you've got hail, go find yourself a yardstick or something to tangibly measure that with. Compare that, check that out, send that in to us, however you want to do that. And, say whether it's Kevin at southmetroweather.com, send that to email, or if you want to send that in to the Facebook page here, that's fine too. But that's going to be that's going to be a way that we can kind of get a better idea of what we're looking at for this area. And I just want to, okay. A lot of hail in hands. That doesn't help me because I don't know what size your hand is, but I'm looking at South Dallas by 20 and 35. I mean, that's a decent size hailstone. I can't, again, it's your hand. That message from Anna, I can't tell how big your hand is. So that's really subjective. It's hard for me to discern that, but it's a large enough hailstone to probably cause some pain there. So as this is moving through the Hutchins area now, that will be moving out of Hutchins very soon. Really, the main hail core looks to be right on top of Hutchins, right now, or was a short time ago, that's going to continue to move towards Balch Springs and Mesquite over the next few minutes. So that needs to be watched very closely. Not sure how many folks we still have watching that are in Dallas County. Let me go back in the comments here. Yeah, nothing for Waxahachie, nothing for the South Metro area, really, at least the South Metro counties. And okay, so egg size hail reported. Um, let's see, egg size hail reported in Cedar Hill, and then hearing 1-inch hail in the Lancaster DeSoto area. So that's just kind of a consistent report I've heard. I've seen larger out of Lancaster though, so larger hail was possible in that area. The National Weather Service is issuing another downstream warning for northern Kaufman County here. That's going to be northern Kaufman County, probably including parts of Rockwall County as well. They're going to lower the hail size to 2 inches, just based on latest reports. So it sounds like the hail size could finally be dropping in this storm. Hutchins' marble size, you're going to have to let me know what kind of marbles you're talking about. You have different size marbles there, so that's a little bit unclear. Hearing there's rain continuing in Red Oak, so there may be some rain that is kind of just holding on in some of these areas, south of Dallas and northern Ellis County here, but not really expecting a whole lot. Let's see. Yeah, and I'll say too that this should be the only thing we see tonight. I mean, we weren't sure how widespread or not this event could be, but it looks like this one storm that cut quite a swath with very large hail through Johnson County and far southeastern Tarrant County, now moving through Dallas County here. And so at this point, and I know there's a lot of people in Ellis County watching, a lot of people in the 4 counties, the storm is in Dallas County right now, not affecting anyone in you're done if you're in Ellis, Johnson, Hill, or Navarro counties at this time. Not really anything happening there. So golf ball to baseball size hail at Methodist Mansfield. So that's a report at 10:30 that we have there. Thank you so much for that report. So there goes that warning there for northern. It doesn't include Rockwall County. This is northern Kaufman County here. So they have lowered the hail size here to 2 inches, which means that this storm does appear to finally be weakening at this point. It's moving again towards Balch Springs, towards Mesquite. That will continue on towards northern Kaufman, towards Terrell. And we will probably wrap our coverage after it moves through Dallas County. Southern Dallas County was kind of my concern. We still have a lot of viewers there, and with the size of hail that we were talking about, there's a lot of folks that are outdoors in Southern Dallas County. That's just kind of the way it is out there. So that was a concern that I had. I wanted to make sure that those folks were prepared, but the hail size does look to be dropping, and 2-inch hail is nothing to shake a stick at. But as it moves into Balch Springs and the Mesquite area, it sounds like it is weakening a little bit. So just keep in mind, if you're in Balch Springs and Mesquite, be prepared for this storm to move through. It's a fast mover. It's not very big. You're going to get some larger hail in that area, and it could cause some issues. But just keep in mind, and in fact, let's go ahead and do this. If you'll put in the comment section, I'm curious at this point in the video, where are you watching from? Are we still talking Ellis County folks here that are just watching for entertainment? I know there's apparently somebody from Nebraska that's watching, but where are you watching this stream right now? Let us know, and that will kind of tell us if we do still have a lot of Dallas County viewers, or if this is a lot of Ellis County folks that are just trying to make sure that everything's done. So if we can get some reports on where folks are watching. Okay, so there's Ferris, east of Ferris there. Okay, so we've got Combine, Midlothian, Kaufman, Seagoville, Red Oak, Grand Prairie, Ellis County, Waxahachie, 5 points, Ovilla, a couple of Ovilla, Waxahachie, just watching. So you've got nothing else to do like I do. Dallas VA Hospital, it sounds like you're a veteran. Thank you for your service. Rockwall, Waxahachie's watching from South Dallas, near Fair Park, Ovilla, Lancaster. So sounds like there's a fair number of Dallas watchers at this point. And one in Dallas County, Seagoville, Cedar Hill, Ferris, just rain there. Yes, so that should be ending there very soon. From California, Navarro County, Red Oak, Mansfield, South Cedar Hill by Shiloh. Okay. It sounds like Wilmer. Wilmer's clearing out pretty soon. Heavy rain there right now, but should not last much longer. National Weather Service for Fort Worth. Also, one other request, please. We ask that you do not tweet any advertising on the feed for roofing contracting. Thank you. I'm sure that's a problem they get all the time. Boy, roofing companies will market the hell out of you. All I'll tell you is that Synergy Roofing will climb up on your roof so you don't have to, and it's a free consultation, or it's a free inspection, rather. That's all I'm going to say. Go find Synergy Roofing on Facebook if you want to learn more about that. I'm not going to wear you out with that right now. So we'll kind of look at this, and it's moving out of Wilmer right now. Wilmer could have had some hail earlier tonight, but at this point, it looks like things are clearing out in the Wilmer area. I would not be surprised if Wilmer had some smaller hail. I don't think that the larger hail went through that area. And let's look like plenty of hail just started in Keyburg. So let's zoom in there. Kleberg. So Kleberg, yeah, so that's kind of where the larger hail is right now. So Bobwin, Kleberg there, Riley up to Balch Springs. Moving towards Lawson right now. So this is where the heaviest hail is going to be. And again, we've been hearing that the hail size is most likely dropping at this point. Balch Springs has activated the outdoor warning siren. So again, if you're in Balch Springs, you're hearing that wail, those are not tornado sirens. They're outdoor warning sirens. They are not intended to be used to talk about whatever is going on with tornadoes. It's anything that can be harmful outdoors. Okay, that's your focus when you have those outdoor warning sirens. It's also an outdoor siren. I mean, come on, you're not supposed to hear it inside. So if you're hearing it inside, that's not the point. And if you don't hear it inside, it doesn't matter. It's for those folks in urban areas that have the sirens around them that are outdoors, that are being told to go indoors. That is the purpose of an outdoor warning siren. Out of respect for what you do standing in the gap for the major weather channels I continue to watch, well, thank you so much for your kind words there. I know the Dallas, I don't know if the Dallas stations are still on air with this or if they have gone back to regular programming. It's 11 o'clock. I'm sure most of them would love to be going home right now. And okay, I need to say thank you, Kenneth, for the Venmo donation. Thank you, Erica, for the donation through Venmo. So thank you so much. I'm a little behind on this, so I want to make sure that I'm catching up on that. The Venmo and the Cash App, that all helps me to keep this free. I don't have to charge you anything for it, right? Allows me to feed my family, support my family, all those kind of things too. So that does make a difference, absolutely. This is also moving into the Crandall area. I don't want to ignore western portions of Kaufman County too much. You see Kaufman here. It looks like there could be some rain there. This is mostly going to be a Crandall, Heartland, Forney issue. So that's moving. It's also moving to Balch Springs here where the outdoor warning sirens are sounding right now. Looks like portions of probably eastern Mesquite could get clipped by this as well. So that's kind of the track that we're looking at here. And with this thing booking it at 50 miles per hour, it's going to be there pretty quickly. I'm sure it's probably hailing right now in Balch Springs, probably getting hail very soon in Heartland, going to be moving into Forney very soon. It looks to stay mostly to the west of Terrell, but considering the track here, Terrell could get some of this. Oak Ridge, mostly east of Kaufman, west of Kaufman rather, for that part of the storm. So just bear in mind here, we are looking at this continuing. Now, if you're in the four counties, Ellis, Johnson, Navarro, and Hill, you don't have to worry about this. We're reporting this specifically because of requests that are in the comment section here that the Dallas stations may not be covering this as well. So with the history of large hail in this storm, I wanted to just keep going. It was going to be a quick stream anyway. We've only been on the air for a little over an hour at this point, I think. So not the what was it, 3 hours or 3.5 hours last night, the craziness of that whole mess. This is one storm. This is the only storm in our area, really in all of North Texas at this point. So just one storm moving through far eastern Dallas County. Looks like the heaviest part of this storm now moving into Heartland. I'm also seeing this bowing out a little bit. So let's take a look at the velocity view. And not seeing any kind of indication at this moment of stronger winds, but I'm sure if we go down and look at the elevated liquid here, yeah, we're probably looking at some hail in that area as well. And I appreciate all the thank yous in the comment section here. And I know that we've got some people in Kaufman County that are watching this. We'll probably have to wrap this up fairly soon. This is getting way out of our coverage area, and I don't want people to think I'm just covering everything now, right? They're a little possessive of me down in the South Metro area, but Balch Springs, the outdoor warning sirens are probably wrapped up there, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's outdoor warning sirens in parts of Kaufman County here. I'm not sure if Kaufman County, if it's by the municipality there, I really don't know, but just keep in mind that this storm just keeps going. It doesn't show any signs of slowing down or stopping, so this is going to continue into Heartland, Forney, moving possibly towards Terrell at this point, and then on up into Rockwall County later on. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Let's see. It's been nice that you're covering this. My sister lives in Sunnyvale and had no clue. Yeah, the Dallas stations haven't really covered this a whole lot. Looks like 1-inch hail reported in Duncanville. So that's kind of a delayed report from the National Weather Service there. So this warning has been updated. Looks like the storm is finally starting to lose steam. So, yeah, so hearing from the National Weather Service that the storm looks to be weakening a little bit. So we'll see that losing strength as it moves through northern Kaufman County here, towards Heartland, towards Terrell, towards Forney here. Those are really the next three towns that are going to be included in this. And then moving towards, what is that, Poetry there, up in far northern Kaufman County. Oak Ridge here as well. Kaufman should stay mostly outside of there. Scurry clearing out very soon as well. So thank you so much for tuning into this. Again, make sure that folks in northern Kaufman County, you have family or friends there, make sure they are aware that this storm is coming. The hail sizes are coming down, so we're getting out of that that really destructive range to where fortunately we're getting a little bit more into nuisance range at this point. So, but just keep in mind that as that warning has been cut back here, but that storm will continue on to the northeast. So make sure that folks there are aware of the storm moving into their area. So if you're in the South Metro counties, you're done for the night. This should be it. I will continue to watch this though, just in case we have any kind of outflow boundaries or anything that cause any new storms. But we should be done for now with more storms possible.